Let's not lose sight of the fact that Kickstart Kenny is leading. One to go. Who's got it? Who has got it? The crowd are cheering for Roczen. He's not close enough. Roczen is back in the winner's circle.
Did you ever think that he would own the main Suzuki race team in the 450 class right now?
To be honest, no, but it's a huge compliment. I mean, I've seen the way Dustin and his family and Aaron and Dana, the way they operate from the business standpoint, and it's interesting to me that you know, I've tried really hard when the whole concept of them doing a team was, I don't want to say a joke, but you know, we're kind of goofing around at the 2018 intro, and Dustin's like, well, you know, what if we started a team, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And you know, it's a tough deal to operate a program, you know, to run a team and putting all the sponsors together, the support, the staff, the mechanics, the riders. It's really challenging. So I commend them for what they've done and what they started with and where they are now.
So last year we did a lot of searching trying to get the bike right for Roczen, and you know, we found a pretty good setting with the suspension, the chassis, the clutch was a big part of it, and we made a lot of improvements last year, and it seems like this year it's no big changes. I mean, we're tweaking on it a little bit here and there, but the majority of the time he's super happy with the bike, he's comfortable on it, and the most important, he's confident with it.
Ken Roczen here. We're at Anaheim 1, about to get ready for press conference, and stoked to be back for another year. It just seems like I've come here so many times now. You know, I used to be the rookie where everything was kind of new, and now it's been so many times, but I'm excited to be back. And you know how it is with the first race, it's always a lot of hype, and I haven't really fit in it lately. I've done a lot of off-season races, and to me, luckily, this just feels like going to another race. So I think I got that going for me. And yeah, overall, I'm just really happy. My off-season went pretty good and smooth, and I've been really happy. So there's really nothing to complain about. Just kind of waiting for tomorrow to get ready and go racing.
Larry, to touch on something that Lars mentioned, what are some of the challenges for you and your team basically running into the end of November, even early December this year, before being able to transition to 2024?
So we raced the World Supercross Series and raced all the way through Thanksgiving, and it seemed to really step on any testing time that we had. So we just pretty much tried to get through that series and then do our little bit of testing that we did leading into this year. The bike didn't change, so we made some improvements on the bike, but yeah.
Just walk us through the differences coming in a year ago here to now, and how much further you are progressed with the motorcycle.
I just feel a lot better on the bike, and overall feel much better, and I think I can just start focusing on racing instead of always focusing on the bike and what we need to change and what it has to feel like.
It's time for the off-season to be officially over. Doesn't that sound good? Yes, it's time to go racing in 2024. Monster Energy Supercross is back, celebrating 50 years of the sport, and appropriately, we're in Southern California, Anaheim. It's time for the one and only A1. It's 450 time. Drop the gate, let's go. Ken Roczen with a great start on the inside. And Roczen is getting his new season off to the best possible start. Looks good, doesn't he, James?
No, he looks good. He looks even better coming across this checker flag.
Here it is, Roczen with the heat win. This is Anaheim. Let's do it 2024 style. What a shame for Ken Roczen on that X-Star Suzuki, the progressive insurance machine. He won his heat and it was feeling so great about the night, and then got tangled up on that lap 1 incident. He was down as low as 18th, 19th. Roczen's in 12th at the moment.
On the start, Ken got a really good start at A1, got pushed out in the first corner, which exited the first corner in like 9th place, something like that. And down the first straightaway, Vince Freeze and Malcolm Stewart got into it, and they both went down, and Ken got collected into it. And he got up with a bent bike. The bars were bent, the bar mounts were bent, the front end was twisted, and dude, he rode so hard. I mean, as hard as he could. I was super proud of him that he rode that hard, and with a bent up bike. I know how it is to race Supercross with a bent front end. It's not easy, and he rode hard all the way to the end and finished 10th at the end.
He's a co-owner of the H.E.P Suzuki team, former pro racer. Dustin Pipes, what's up, Pipes? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Steve? What's going on, Michael?
Listen, you don't have a race-winning team. You don't have a team that can consistently, put in the top 5 and all that. And you know that. This isn't a big surprise.
We wanted to do it with these guys as well. I just know we're happy with the guys we have, and we have a good time with them, and we stand behind them, whether they have a good race or a bad race. We want to build together.
We'll start out, just introduce yourself, and then what is your role with the team?
Dustin Pipes, team principal of Pipes Motorsports Group, H.E.P Suzuki. Really, my family's been involved in moto pretty much my whole life. So my family started CMA, which ran racetracks in Central California. So my whole life, I really kind of grew up around moto. So my first memories around dirt bikes are riding the PW50 in my front yard, and my first race was at my parents' track. So my whole life I grew up around moto. My dad raced, my mom's family raced, so it's just kind of been in my blood.
What can you say about a kid who's going to race his first motorcycle race ever? Go get him. And that's what we say to this youngster. Rider number 2, Dustin Pipes.
We're going into year 7, and I feel like we're growing a lot. And in order to do that, you got to take some risks. You kind of got to put your head out there, right? And you got to be able to be comfortable risking it and making some decisions that you aren't sure are going to work out. Just seeing those things through is just another, you just got to have the mind for it, right?
Was signing Ken one of those risky decisions?
I don't know if it was a risky decision, but it was one that we weren't prepared for at the time. We didn't expect it. We just hired Larry. We were just making all these changes, going to Madeira, doing all this stuff, and it was an opportunity that we had to take, right? I don't think you can argue that Ken is a one-of-one talent.
Racing Supercross in the mud like San Francisco was insane. It probably looked super slow and easy and stupid on TV, but let me tell you, it was not. A mere mortal would not have made it around that track. Like, it was gnarly.
Sports welcomes you to downtown San Francisco, California for the second round of the Supermotocross World Championship. Oracle Park is waterlogged. Yeah, pretty ugly scenes right here. It is going to be a tough night ahead. It is cold and wet. The schedule, Ricky, today has been massaged a couple of times to deal with these very challenging conditions, and qualifying was reduced just to one session.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit of a mess, but I think it's going to be fun. Should make some good racing.
Heat 1. Let's see how the mud treats the big boys. Cisco, it's time to bring the action. Drop that date, let's get to it. Here's Roczen on the 94, gets by Ken Roczen. After winning his heat last weekend in A1, got tangled up on lap 1 in the main and went down, but after being as far back as something like 18th, 19th, 20th, fought his way for a top 10 result. It was an awesome ride, and now here comes Kickstart Kenny. He's got by Shane McElrath, and he's on the podium so far. Ken goes across now. There he is, well done.
Nice pops, look at him on the podium.
So he should be. And for Shane McElrath, right from the outset, right from the drop of the gate, Shane was there. Well done, Shane McElrath. Place in San Francisco, that'll feel like a win.
This is 15 minutes. It's gonna, enough time with people struggling, going left and right, and I'm like, we can still make something happen. So I really just put my head down, charged forward, and I was kind of blown away and really happy at the same time that I caught up to the field quick and was able to just pick people off left and right.
And tonight was gnarly. Really started coming down right whenever we were about to go for the main, but track conditions were just brutal. But Ken got off to a great start and then freaking, stalled it in first corner. So that kind of drug us back a little bit, but man, he rode awesome and charged way back up to third, and it was awesome. It was just a great ride, and we were all excited to be back on the podium, and for sure it was his race if he didn't have that little mishap in the first corner. So that was awesome. It was good.
It wasn't a risk, but it was something we had to say, all right, let's do this.
What was that first call like from Dustin when he was entertaining the idea of getting Ken, or was it coming from you guys?
We talked about this whole thing, and timing is so critical in this sport, but we talked about it at Loretta Lynn's the Amateur National, so that would have been August, early August of, all the years blend together, what have we been, 2022, right. It wasn't coming from Suzuki as like, you've got to go get this person. It was the timing of there was stuff going on with him and his, the current team he was on, and some of the renegotiation that they had going, and some changes in what he wanted to do versus what they wanted to do. And I just kind of cautioned him and Dustin and Aaron about just, hey, look, this is a whole nother level to take. Like, you guys can pull it off, but I just make sure before you go doing this, make sure you have all the pieces in place that can handle a rider of that caliber, because I saw how much work RCH put into it with him, and to get him to where he needed to be the top guy. They went to work and assembled the team, and obviously looking back, it was a success.
Oh, for me personally, I was like, wow, I can't believe we're even talking about this and we're gonna make this happen. So as things grew, I think that became more of a reality. And I mean, how exciting to sign a rider of that caliber.
I ended up going up to Madeira, and I was pretty set, even though I didn't really want to ride red anymore by any means. After 6 years, I just have had enough, and I wanted to see a different color front fender. We came back from Paris, and after winning Paris and being king of Paris, I was beating Eli Tomac, and that was a huge order, and we ended up getting that done. And I was kind of 80% sure I was gonna, I guess, go down that route of doing this with the Firepower team, but nonetheless, I did stay a bit open-minded, right? I came back to Madeira and rode the bike, and it wasn't also warm and fuzzy when I came up there at first. I think they were never in a situation like that, and also me coming there, it just was kind of like a gnarly time, now that I look back. And I rode the bike, and nonetheless, I followed my gut on this one. And as soon as I hopped on it, I spun a few laps. I knew we had a lot of work to do to make this a winning bike, but I also understood then that the bike had really good bones and the structure of the bike was really good, and that's ultimately what a rider looks at. And I followed my heart on that one, and we just had some insanely long days, but I really wanted to do this. I wasn't just gonna come here for a year and kind of like, make it go by and then go somewhere else. Like,
I really wanted this, and that's why I ended up putting in the time, and we have just, I feel like personally for me, just done some insane things, and that has been so much fun.
Kenny, no surprise there. Dude, had he not stalled it, he would have been certainly a contender for the win. Another great ride, not only for Kenny, but dude, that whole H.E.P team.
It's 450 main in San Diego. Time to bring the action.
Well, this is where Kenny Roczen really shines right here. He is so explosive. And, oh!
Down goes Roczen. Crashes out of the lead.
Oh, this is going to hurt.